Yo, my whole clique bout it. We take yours while you pout about it. Truck, step out the horse, wanna crowd around it. You can see me on Optimum TV. Go in your bathroom, turn the light out, scream, Bloody Mary. 1, 2, 3. She ain't your usual friend, but I can set you up like Eisen, walk straight at the end. I'm done with ice and charms. I'm trying to ice my whole casket when I'm gone. Pull up with class on the dawn. Once I meet him, I greet him. Kiss his feet for freedom. Tell him thank you, Lord. Cause on earth I was getting bored. Now resurrect me back to this cat or sheep. So I can make this album, get back the cats that speak. 2:30, 6:2. Me punch for you, that's like a cat versus a pit bull. Gun, no flip bull. Keep hunger and plan for the future. Cause you figure
you're gonna be older, way longer than you're gonna be younger. These niggas is telling y'all shit like life insurance is what I've been telling y'all. You'll see the lie. It's the key to life. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
Only time to tell how the clock tick. I really love hair, but I'm still a hostage. 2 personalities, check the posture. Spoke out the mouth, clear out the nostrils. Thinking death, then life seems scary. I pass the graveyard, seeing people here married. I ain't chilling till I'm out parachute. Race my man and I was climbing for about 10 diamonds. 25,000 apiece, fuck streets.
25,000 apiece, fuck the streets.
Try riding in the car that be gliding. If I show you
where I live, you would think I was hiding.
Snake dick, chicks that don't speak English. Wake up to Trinidad, like fucking a rich. Come back, private jet, live on set. If you get shit gold, I'm keep it yes.
Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. You'll see the light. It's the key to life. Money, power, respect. Alright? Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
But the hotness, whenever we drop this, monotonous for y'all to keep hating, cause y'all never gonna stop us. I keep my rock spotless and my hoes topless. Take time, try to figure out who the locks is. Fear no one, kick rhymes like Shogun. You scared to blow one, get robbed with your own gun. If I don't respect you, I'ma check you. And if I don't kiss you, I'ma peck you. Right before I wet you, I sneeze on tracks and bless you. I'm special, and if you like working out, then I'm gonna stretch you. Hustling is dead, but we still get red. Turn the spots in the bakeries to give back bread. And y'all said my money spent, but it's in the vent. So when the feds come, the dogs can't get a cent. And my story, self-explanatory, that I'm the hottest thing on the street, and y'all ain't got nothing for me.
key to life.
Yeah.
Money, power, respect. Money,
You'll see the light.
it's the key to life. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
This is a beat that I can freak. Just drop the rail. Bless a nigga with the L.
Y'all niggas know the deal.
X the trail. Hit 'em up. Split 'em up. Wet 'em up. Watch 'em come. Get 'em up.
Hit 'em up. When you do this, you get them.
Bitch, I make your shit hurt. Step back like I did work. Take no fucking game. You think I'm playing?
Till you land, you wearing the junkyard, the cave. Your mom's at home praying, but you're coming home, but you're not. Life insurance.
Sitting up in the trunk, starting to rap. Let off up to the nigga, especially if he think he bigger.
Then my motherfucking trigger. Get out and get mine. Is it gone? DMX representing for one time. It's on. Money, power, respect. The easiest way to it is OPM. What's OPM? Other people's money. How do you get OPM? Life insurance. Grows at a 2% compound interest. While you're sitting here thinking you're getting a hard dick for a Marcus Miller Chap Goldman Sachs account that gives you 0.5% interest. Come on, son. Let's think about outside of the box and do what we got to do. Now, before I get into this article, I got one more track for y'all, and it's related again to, what I do with insurance and financial services. You know what I mean? I ain't catch 5 bullets for no reason, right? So y'all gonna get this work today, cuz y'all gonna get this work. Mace, The Locks, Black Rob, DMX. Oh, you remember this? This old school music video? Let's see what's going on here. Oh, they got the whole video part. I want you to ask yourself one question. If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do? That's some deep shit right there.
A lot of pressure.
It's a lot of questions.
How would you handle it?
How would you handle it? Huh?
What would you do?
I'd turn out all the hoes as heterosexuals, smack conceited niggas right off the pedestal.
I even look for my dad,
And I never knew. Show 'em how to look, and I'm Beretta too.
I do good shit like take
Kids
kids
out the ghetto, show 'em what they can have if they never settle.
Take every white kid
From
from
high
high
class
class
level,
show
show
'em
'em
what
what
Christmas like.
we're up in the ghetto.
Teach niggas how to spin stack
The
the
best.
rest. Give blunts to the niggas under
Massive stress.
Give every bum on the street cash to invest.
And hope Harlem World Blow be my last request. Fuck it, I probably eat some fried chicken and drink it and tuck it.
Then go get a job from
Grandson, and leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. Hold up, this nigga said I'ma make sure to leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. Meanwhile, this is in your rap songs. Half of y'all niggas I talk to be talking that bullshit, acting like you don't want life insurance. Your homeboy Jadakiss, who with the locks just smashed the fuck out of Dipset in the old ass song, told you I'ma leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. That's through life insurance. But y'all niggas don't listen to me. So I'ma run this shit back. Your favorite rapper just said it.
Give every bum on the street cash to invest.
And hope Harlem World Blow be my last request. 24 hours to kick the bucket, fuck it. I probably drink some fried chicken and drink it and tuck it. Go get a job from grandson and make sure I leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. What in the fuck? So next time y'all niggas say some bullshit to me when I'm talking to y'all about life insurance, remember your favorite rapper told you to get it.
Shoot a little ball, have all of my bitches in one telly at the same time, spread it out
On different floors.
and I'm gonna
Play lotto for what? Even though I ain't gonna be here tomorrow.
So
You know, when I was close to the ledge, I'd probably be in the west. With this bad Spanish mommy ran between my legs. Then I moved to get shook and smoke one of them dreads. Then get that bitch to me, E9 and gave us up to the feds. Go to mama, wrote her a note, we ain't close. I ain't a boyfriend, so I put one in his throat. Fuck around and sniff an ounce of roll. Bust the force, pull out my dick and take a piss on the floor. Jump in the whip, get the cats I wanted to get. Just the tavern on the green robbery in 86. When home took a shower
And ice cold water. I spent my last hours with my son and my daughter. Damn, these niggas are just talking about life insurance left and fucking right. But y'all niggas worried about Gucci bags. So fuck. You had 24 hours to live. Just think, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? You gotta get the roll. Sometimes I paid for 20 and he gave me the other doorbell. This door. Yeah.
Now I'm off to the bank with those bricks in the book bag and the stolen child just grab. Running it, grab the bank teller with the pretty face. Fuck in the safe to have her take me to my place. Would make a kid, but that selfish shit not to be bad. For my son to have the same shit as Pops just had. And when I'm down to 23, I'm a beach strap to TNT. Run up in City Hall and take the judge's way.
24 hours to live. I probably die on the 5th, running the station,
Squeezing the ink
I'll be waiting.
to get to hell and bust down Satan.
Styles on the shit, and I got spot bacon. Back to the 24, I make it out the prison shooting niggas that I hate. And they face while they eating. I'm on a job robbing every so-called dawn. Give the money to my mom and tell her that I'm gone. I would school my little brother that niggas mean harm. He should learn to tell the future
Without reading palms.
When they coming with the bullets, you prepared with the bomb. So fuck being violent, get stocks and
Bombs.
bombs.
Damn, hold up. Did that nigga say something? So fuck being violent, get stocks and bonds. Finally, we starting to get there. But this is a rhyme from the fucking 90s, y'all. This is from the 90s. This is the shit they've been talking for the last 30 years and niggas is just now catching up. Because your rappers don't promote this to you. They promote the bullshit.
You should learn to tell the future
Without reading palms.
When they coming with the bullets, you
Prepared with the bombs.
So fuck being violent,
Get stocks and bonds. So what your rappers is telling you, but y'all niggas look at me like I'm stupid when I come to you with financial services. I'ma send you that work. I've been living with a curse. Now it's all about the end. But before I go, say hello to my little friend. With my mother.
Try to explain to my son, tell my girl I love her. She pour up under the coat, snatch up my dog. Turn like three villains on
Wall Street to a farm.
Out with a bang.
You will remember my name. I thought I would live forever, but that was the thing. Just think, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? Just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? And would your ass deny that your ass about to die? If you had 24 hours to live, just think, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? Just think, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would you just deny that your ass about to die? So check it out. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor, Alonzo Hall. And I'm back today. And as you see from the title, it says Passport Bros and Cashflow Hoes, because we talk about in this space a lot of brothers who talk about being expats or passport bros. Well, let me tell you something. I was talking to a brother in, I think, the Congo, and he speaks a lot of French. And he was talking about being ADOS, American descendants of slavery, and the dichotomy that we have with people overseas. Well, you know, like I said, I talk this to y'all about, and y'all shun it here in America, in the States. Well, let me read this article to you from wealthmanagement.com. And let's take a look at what it says here. Okay? Wealthmanagement.com is, this article was sent to me by a buddy of mine, by the way. What the heck? All right, let me put my email address in there. Let's just continue to the site for now. It won't let me. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at this. What's this article about? Well, this is an article about foreigners wanting U.S. life insurance. It says, why do so many foreign nationals want U.S. life insurance? So niggas in America shitting on life insurance, motherfuckers overseas who are clamoring to get to the great United States of America understand the importance and the value that life insurance has here in the United States. Now, remember, I talked to you about the MDRT, which is the $1 Million Round Table. This is an industry-wide conference of 75 countries. The top 1% of financial services professionals are those who actually deal with y'all. So y'all niggas who shitting on me talking about life insurance, shit on you. Fuck me, fuck you too. That's the way it is, all right? Live like that. So again, why do so many foreign nationals want U.S. life insurance? Companies are increasingly creating formal programs in order to address the unique planning, structural, and tax needs of the client. Nowhere did I say dying and just leaving a little check for somebody. It says the U.S. life insurance industry enjoys a number of advantages over other countries, making it increasingly attractive to non-U.S. citizens and residents, namely high death benefit capacity, comparatively low insurance costs, well-capitalized insurers, stable currency, and a robust regulatory environment. So let's look at that. Let's break this down, right? I'll tell an American, hey, you're 35 years old, and it's going to be $100 a month for a $250,000 life insurance policy. I mean, you did just buy a house, so you're fighting to pay $1,200 a month for this $250,000 house, but then you're not going to do the smart thing and pay $100 a month to protect the motherfucker who's earning the income. Because, yeah, I went to go get this house, but your happy ass is out there earning the fucking income that pays for that house. But you ain't going to put no insurance on that. But you got to get homeowner's insurance because your mortgage said so. You see how that one thing protects the other? So why wouldn't you protect the person who protects the income that pays for that house, but you're going to protect that house? Again, these are places, wealthmanagement.com, where you're going to get your elite agents like myself. So let's look at this. It says increasingly attractive to non-U.S. citizens and residents. High death benefit capacity. So they know that using OPM for pennies on the dollar, if I spend $100, I can turn this $100, even if I spend $1,200 a year for 10 years. That's $12,000. If your death benefit on $1,200 a year for 10 years, you've spent out of your pocket $120,000. I'm sorry, $12,000. But your death benefit is $250,000. That's called OPM, because you leverage the power of $12,000 that you paid out of your pocket, but you've guaranteed your family $250,000. I'll tell you what, go to the stock market, find me an investment that will beat that, call me, and I'll put $10,000 of my own money into it today. I don't expect a phone call because you won't find it. But, it sounds nice. As one of my advisors says, it looks cute, but it ain't cute. So let's stop looking cute and really be cute, right? Because this article is telling us foreigners like life insurance. And then I also showed you an article, and I'm speaking specifically to Black America, because we crying about this racial wealth gap, but then don't do shit like buy life insurance. So there's actually a negative behind that. We do buy life insurance. And the Yahoo Finance article showed that Black people buy life insurance more than white people. The problem is that you don't buy enough life insurance. You don't buy it right. Generally, you'll have a situation like myself. I'll sit with people. They'll say, I only want $100,000 worth of life insurance. That's all. That's it. Well, let's look at something. There's something called the rule of 20. So if you make $50,000 a year, you want to replace 20 years of your income. That's $1 million life insurance policy. $1 million is 50,000 times 20, or 20 years of $50,000. Now that's an average advisor that's going to give you that. Now someone who's going to, like myself, an all-star advisor who works with the wealthy people, I understand that we're in a 0.5% interest rate. So what does that mean? Your money market account from Goldman Sachs, aka Marcus Millichap, well, they're going to grow at 0.5% or half of 1% interest. So you would need a $10 million life insurance policy to have in perpetuity interest off of that money market account at 0.5% to earn your family $50,000 a year, every year for fucking ever. But again, especially most African Americans, they ain't willing to sit down and learn from a nigga like me that type of shit, which is why we still have the racial wealth gap. The Yahoo Finance article actually stated, again, African Americans buy in record numbers more life insurance policies than whites. But again, we'll have a person who has a $50,000 annual income and buys a $100,000 life insurance policy when the average funeral was $21,000. You die, you leave your family $100,000 minus 21,000. That leaves you what, 79,000. So that's one good year of the lifestyle you've left, but you also realize your presence goes away. So now that you've died, your wife is alone. So now your wife has to go to work. Your wife has to now accompany for the fact that you used to take the kids to school in the morning. She used to take them at night, this, that, and the third. So now she has to go work, and that $100,000 you left her, you might as well have left her jack shit. But again, unless you're taught this stuff or you insist on spending more than 15 minutes to save 15%, you'll actually save yourself a lot more. I saved a client of mine $500,000 by showing her how she's going to pay off her house in 10 years. There's something called an amortization schedule. What is that? That's a calculation of payments. So we set it up. She's age 44. She'll be paying her house for 20 years. After the end of that 20 years, she's saving $500,000. So get the fuck out of my face with all this other bullshit. Y'all niggas is broken. I'm tired of the bullshit. Right? Y'all niggas gonna get some real shit. Like I said, I didn't get shot 5 times for no reason, cuz. Y'all gonna get this work. So while foreign nationals, let's see. It says this edge has led to more U.S. life insurance companies creating formal foreign national programs in order to address the unique planning, structural, and tax needs of these clients. She was good. Salute Sheed in the building. You know what I mean? My man Ra will be here in a moment. And I'm going to drop the link so y'all could come up because I know y'all may have questions, concerns, comments. But I think this is some important stuff to learn, y'all. Because niggas is broke. I was just on Anton Daniels. He was talking about networking events being for losers. And then a gentleman who was also a follower of Anton Daniels came in interrupting the stream. And Anton was like, bro, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but can you kind of stop? Like, I'm trying to teach people stuff. And he was like, oh, networking events are trash. And he said, finally, look, bro, I make over $250,000 a year. You're talking a bunch of shit and you barely pull $40,000 a year. Can you sit down and let me teach my class? And he sat down and let the man teach his class. But again, a dude making $40,000, that's average salary. And for African Americans, unfortunately, that's median salary for black men. It's $42,000. That doesn't really help close that racial wealth gap. But small things, pennies on the dollar, you can actually pass down great amounts of wealth. And you don't have to die to use life insurance. It's actually life event insurance. So as I continue, again here, it says this edge has led to more U.S. life insurance companies creating formal foreign national programs in order to address this unique planning, structural, and tax needs of these clients. So while foreign nationals turn to U.S. life insurance for a number of reasons, they generally do so related to 5 strategies. Strategy number 1 is seeking large amounts of death benefit. Strategy number 2 is addressing U.S. estate tax liability. Remember, we were talking about estate planning, and estate is big because estate is your net worth, right? Anton Daniels was talking about this. Actually, we were talking about this with Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels talks about a lot about high value men. But we have to actually exact and get that correct because a high value man has nothing to do with your annual salary. Yes, it helps when you have a high salary, but your salary and your net worth are 2 totally different things. It ain't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. I know gentlemen, because I'm a financial advisor, who make on paper over $100,000 a year. But when I look at their net worth is a little over $2,700, meaning they ain't worth jack shit. And they have the house and the fancy car, the Mercedes Benz that everybody's clamoring over. They wear Louis Vuitton, but they're broke. Because if some shit happens at the drop of a dime and they're in very serious danger and emergency, all they can pull out is maybe $3,000 liquid. And when we're talking about liquidating assets, they're underwater because their liabilities outweigh their assets. Okay? Reason 3 is they're planning to immigrate here to the U.S. Salute, Rob. What's going on, brother? Ra L in the building. You know what I'm saying? My 2 heavy hitters are definitely here, and these gentlemen always appreciate this type of stuff. So salute to y'all. They're going to positioning as a desirable portfolio asset to balance against a variety of international holdings. So let's look at that. There's a company called UBS, United Bank Suisse. They obviously do a lot of international business. Let's look at other companies that do international business. So as you guys know, I'm a realtor, and I have a client who's actually looking for a property in Medellin, Colombia. Now, I have no idea how real estate works in Colombia, so luckily, I work with Coldwell Banker, which is an international real estate company. So all I did was I called up one of my brokers and I'm like, hey, listen, I got a guy who wants to buy a property in Colombia. I know nothing about Colombia, but I'm not your average nigga in the hood. So, I don't have that swaggy P shit that the bitches like. But as soon as I say, oh, I do business in Colombia, they pussy get wet. Right? But the reality of it is you have to position yourself to be of value. So all those foreigners that you Americans like to, us Americans, especially us black folk in the hood, we like to always be like, oh, these foreigners, they come over and they get all these loans. Well, part of what they're doing is setting up estates and setting up plans and doing shit like buying life insurance and using the cash value of that life insurance to come over here to America and make your lazy ass look stupid, especially black Americans. Because we don't do shit like buy life insurance. We do shit like, my baby's first birthday is coming. I'm going to spend $5,000 on sending his ass to Chuck E. Cheese. And then sit with a life insurance agent like me and be like, I'm not going to spend $100 a month on a life insurance policy on my baby, but I'm going to spend this $5,000 and send his nigga ass to Chuck E. Cheese. And wonder why other people call us shit like the N-word. Well, you don't get no respect because you don't do shit respectable. Right? My cousin came home from college. He got no support. My homie came home from jail. Everybody was throwing a fucking party for him. Fuck that. The nigga who went to jail, I'm glad you came home from jail. Go get a job, you bum. The kid who came home from college, we need to be throwing a party for. That's what needs to happen. But no, the kid who came from college got jack shit, and my boy who came home from jail, we did a fucking dance and song for. That's the bullshit. That's what we have to break out of. Remember, I just played 2 rap songs for you where rappers were saying, nigga, get life insurance. Put some money away today because you're going to be older way longer than you're going to be younger. Right? Let me, oh yeah, fair use. Definitely fair use in the building. Give me a second. I'm about to drop the link as I continue to go over this article. But definitely fair use. Okay, this is definitely fair use. As Ross said, they have liabilities, not assets. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting those liabilities. So let me break this down, because you'll hear a lot of financial professionals, especially in the Black community, say shit like, don't buy Jordans, invest in Jordan stock. Unfortunately, that's terrible advice, because your average everyday dude from the hood who's buying Jordan stock is not a market maker. Elon Musk can not buy Jordans and only buy Jordan stock, because at one given time he can put $300,000-$500,000 into their Jordan stock and manipulate that stock. But you and I, we're regular folks. I can't put $100, $200, $1 million into the stock at one time and move that needle. So me buying only Jordan stock does jack shit. What I need to do is, instead of buying 4 pairs of Jordans a month, I buy 3 pairs of Jordans a month. Link ain't working. Let me see. Oh, shit. Hold on. Share screen. Invite. Copy. Try it one more time, fam. There we go. I'm going to share the screen one more time because I want to definitely get back into that article. But, man, this insurance shit is so many different areas with which we can, expand and grow, that I think it's dangerous for us not to have these conversations. And like I said, a lot of it is the fault of financial professionals like myself for not teaching you guys this type of stuff. Right? What's going on, brother? What you got to say?
Oh, I'm just posted up, man. Go keep doing what you're doing, man.
No doubt. I appreciate it. So again, number 4, they're positioning it as desirable portfolio assets to balance against a variety of international holdings. So they're actually bolstering their portfolio, international holdings. With what? With fucking life insurance. Because, it's not just for death benefit. Again, you aren't taught this shit. So how the fuck are you supposed to know that it's an asset unless somebody who's in the industry teaches you this shit? So yes, I am mad at the Black community for not seeking out this information, but I'm mad at the Black community for not seeking it out, because when you have someone like myself who tries to sit down and teach, I've gotten into so many arguments in this fucking barbershop right here with niggas who be like, what the fuck do I need a financial advisor for? I got it out the mud. Nigga, Jay-Z got it out the mud. He got a whole bunch more money than you, and he works with a financial advisor. So again, cut the bullshit. Right? Because last time I checked, I don't know no nigga in the hood who got nearly as much money as Jay. But Jay-Z uses a financial advisor from New York Life. FYI. 5, obtaining competitive premium financing terms. So premium financing is actually a strange thing. Most people don't know you can actually get a loan to pay for your life insurance. So that's what's called premium financing. You'll actually work with the insurance company or the carrier, and they'll actually work out a situation where they pay your premiums and you pay a premium of the premium over time. And generally, the way that they're doing that is you're getting a very, very high face amount. So maybe somebody comes and says, listen, I want a $10 million life insurance policy and it's $500 a month. And they can afford $500 a month, but they say, you know what? I want a $20 million life insurance policy, but the $20 million policy is $2,000 a month. Well, they can actually finance the premium and have that paid on their behalf. Again, pennies on the dollar, and you have to use strategies, what's up, boss, to make sure that you're in a good position. And this is actually my first time reading through the entirety of the article because I wanted to leave it kind of ready for my reaction when I'm going live with you guys. So one thing here it says is the law death benefit. Okay? Without exception, death benefit capacity in other countries is either far less than in the US and or much more costly. So again, now that we put it in the scheme of things, when I'm telling you, hey, $100 a month for life insurance, and you're like, that's expensive. But let's look at it. I be on YouTube. I be seeing dudes send $50 super chats 3 days in a row. Nigga, there's your life insurance premium. You just sent this dude and that dude and this dude and that dude life insurance premiums. Again, I'm gonna talk specifically to the manosphere. You can't afford your monthly insurance premium, but you paying dudes like Myron $1,000 off of Fresh and Fit, so you can learn some game, so you can possibly get some vagina. But if you have shit like this set up and you go tell that woman, hey, I have a full portfolio, guess what? She's going to give you freakier sex because she's going to try and get to that bag. See, you're going to be like, hey, I'm holding this $1 million. Get to work. But y'all think too small. But y'all paying this man $1,000 to give y'all some game. Meanwhile, the first thing I saw him was the joint where he had the ratchet chick smash him or beat on him. And he didn't even pick up the signs that the ratchet chick was hitting on him because she was trying to get sexual with him. But he's got game. I don't know what happened. I just fell off there. Yeah, I don't know how I fell off, but all the people who give $1,000 don't have life insurance, but many of them don't. And he's worked in this industry long enough to have gotten pushback from blacks from selling it. Yes. So I've been in this industry for over a decade. And in this industry, again, when I sit with a lot of African American families, that is the pushback that we get. Now, the difficulty is this. Like I said, a lot of that failure is the failure of us, the black financial professional who don't teach you this shit. But it's also your failure. You got to sit down with me and listen to it. You can't let it go in one ear out the other. Most of the time when I talk to dudes in the hood about this, they're, oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. I want to go do this. Oh, I want to go do that. But when it comes time for that check to come in, guess whose dick they swinging from? Now you want to come swing from my dick because it's a check involved in it. Oh, well, it's a little too late, homeboy. Example, a few years back, my brother-in-law was was a process server. He was making a bunch of money. He was going to the store and buying himself, his sons, and my sister-in-law foam posits. These are $250 sneakers. And he has two sons, himself, and my sister-in-law. So he's buying at least 4 pairs of foam posits a week. $250 sneakers. $1,000 a week, or $1,000 a month on sneakers. So I sat with him. I said, bro, you should get this disability insurance, this paycheck protection. Wrote it up. It's going to be $67 a month. Nah, bro, that seemed like a waste of money. A few months later, his diabetes started acting up. Water on his eyes. He now has 30% of his vision, so he had to stop doing the job that was making him thousands of dollars a week as a process server. So then he came to me and said, hey, now that I'm fucked up in the game and I can't work, I'd like to talk to you about that disability insurance. And I was like, oh, yeah, we could talk about it. They won't give it to you now because that disability actually happened. So 60% or $600 a week, because you was making $1,000 a week. $600 a week would have been what you could have had spending that $67 a month with me. But, you didn't want to risk not getting all the foam posits, my nigga. Them foam posits are so fucking fly. Well, this was 2013. It's 2021. The nigga been 30% blind for the past several years. Oh, yeah, he hasn't been able to go to work since then. Oh, yeah, he's on disability. Oh, yeah, his son don't really look up to him no more because his daddy's broke. He can't even deal with him. Oh, yeah, but I'm an asshole for saying that, right? Or is he the bitch-ass nigga who didn't look through the entirety of the door and left his son there to be fucked up? But again, I'm the asshole for saying that type of shit, right? What up, ladies? You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with him getting them foams, but get one less pair of foams. Get your sons the foam. Get my sister the foams. You don't need the foams, my nigga. We men, we don't need that much. You know what I'm saying? And we also have to be careful about these strong-willed, the strong-minded women. Because I seen some shit with Greg Leaks, Nene Leaks' husband, and he said some real shit. And he's everything that Kevin Samuels wants to be. He's already a wealthy man. He has his housewife of Atlanta. Rest in peace to Greg Leaks. He said, I'm a man's man. I operate under my aura, my confidence. I don't deal with that women's stuff. He said, yeah, the guy said some stuff to my wife I dislike, but those are words. He said, my wife is strong enough. You throw her the ball, she'll knock it out of the park. And if there's a position where she needs me as a man's man, I'm over her shoulder. So, fellas, let's make sure that we put ourselves in position to let these women be carried. And we are putting ourselves in those positions. Make sure you vet the woman too, please. And part of vetting the woman would be this. Hey, let's talk about some of our plans for the future. Let's talk about insurance. Let's not just talk about religion. Let's talk about insurance. Let's talk about college savings for our kids. Things like that. It says, at the death of a foreign national with U.S. estate tax exposure and the fair market value of the death of a decedent, U.S. situated assets exceeds $60,000, right? So you're going to get hit with estate tax. So they're already realizing to stop estate shrinkage so that the Queen of England can pass things down. And actually, that's a perfect example of a foreign national who's likely to buy U.S. life insurance, right? What's the girl's name who married Prince, fucking bald-headed guy? I can't think of his name. Prince William, right? Well, now they're expats. They have to come over here to America, but he still has assets overseas. You think they don't have flats in London, in Jamaica, in every fucking probably part of the planet, because the Queen of England pretty much makes $3 million a minute? Yeah, that stuff. So when we're looking at that, you can actually plan and vet your woman. And then bam. Now that's going to get her more excited because you're doing what you need to do. And you're going to make sure, look, you're going to be with my program, sis. And part of being with that program is learning this type of stuff. Because I don't want no broke joke woman. And I don't want no woman who's only using me for my money. Right? So ladies, don't lead with your MBA. Lead with the fact that your MBA can put you in a position to be an asset to me. Right? So let's see. It says, depending on if a tax treaty exists and what provisions of the treaty has to offset U.S. taxes with those in a foreign national's home country, there could very well be transfer taxes due to the U.S. Treasury on the value of the foreign national's U.S. assets, subject to U.S. estate tax in the excess of the $60,000 exclusion. Okay, so the vice president of advanced planning and design with Lion Street, a national network of independent life insurance and wealth management advisors headquartered in Austin, Texas, using the income tax-free death benefit proceeds from a U.S. life insurance policy to pay these taxes is a common and effective technique. Fontani often sees foreign national clients owning their U.S. policies in U.S. trust funds or LLCs. The trust funds or LLCs are usually the beneficiaries, and these structures have provisions on how to direct the death benefit. So again, that goes back to similar like I was explaining with the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Yes. That goes back to what I was explaining with things like a buy-sell agreement, right? So when you're in that relationship, if you're going to have a relationship with the woman, no problem. Make sure you vet her and make sure that if you go further and you take that step of getting married, that when you're married, you get divorce insurance. I'll break that down in another video as to how that works, but it's literally divorce insurance is the same thing as a buy-sell agreement with business, right? So business partners actually insure each other to have that business exit strategy. So they decide, well, when either one of the business owners dies, decides to retire, or they want to be bought out of the business. Notice in that life insurance policy, I mentioned death, but I didn't mention that the only reason is dying. Part of it is, I'm just tired of doing this business. I want to exit the business, buy me out. Well, if John, my business partner, doesn't have $1 million liquid to buy my interest in the business, I got to keep working. Does that make sense? So you do the same thing with your spouse, and you get a divorce insurance. Okay? So let's see here. Fontani provided a 2019 example for the need for coverage to meet a future U.S. estate tax. Mr. Chu, Jimmy Chu, is age 60. He is a citizen and a resident of China who has resided in the U.S. for up to 4 months a year for the past decade. Over this time, he accumulated substantial business and real estate holdings worth around $200 million and needed $80 million in coverage to pay estate taxes at his death. The $80 million in death benefit was attained through a process called staging, where a number of policies from various U.S. life insurance companies, including those ceding to different reinsurance companies, were applied for and issued. Chu purchased those policies inside of an irrevocable trust established in Delaware, which would also serve as the beneficiary of the policies. The trust would then use the death benefit proceeds to buy the future estate tax. So death taxes and estate taxes. We talk about there's a tax for dying. You get taxed for dying. Ain't that something? So they're actually literally telling you the answers to all of our issues here. There's great ways in with which we can actually stretch out, and this is just one aspect. See, they dug deep into these here 5 different strategies. These are the 5 main strategies that foreigners want U.S. life insurance. But if you notice, they're really not worried about dying. They're worried about protecting that bag, right? So let's see, it says pre-immigration planning. So again, Americans, we'd be like, well, these foreigners, they come over here and they have all this financial backing and they get all these loans. Well, what they did was they had family here who purchased life insurance. The life insurance will grow at a compound interest rate at 2%. So it's even growing even faster than sitting it at Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs is a global company. So if they're in China, Japan, they're in a bunch of countries. So instead of sitting your money with Marcus Millichap and Goldman Sachs getting 0.5%, you put in a life insurance policy and get 2% a month. Well, your money grows faster. So now you come over here to America, you're sitting on a boatload of money, you buy your Benz, you buy your house, you buy your local bodega, you set up a local business in a black neighborhood where everybody's going to say, oh, these foreigners came into our hood and they took over our business. They won't not patronize with you. They won't ask you how for a job. They won't try to get a loan with you, but they'll complain about the fact that you're in their neighborhood, that they have no businesses and own no mortgages. But, you know, the guys who are out there selling their dope, this is their hood, even though, again, they own no businesses or mortgages in that hood. But I digress. You see, then you talk about what you know, some Jewish guy is owning stuff in your hood. Well, talk to him. Work out a deal with him. See if you can purchase the property. Then it can actually be your hood because you have a business or a property with mortgage there. Otherwise, like Denzel Washington said in Training Day, I rent it here. You just live here. Remember that. Okay? So, when U.S. foreign nationals plan to immigrate to the U.S., much of their structuring addresses the reduction of future U.S. estate. This is largely accomplished by establishing an irrevocable trust. Okay, so if you'll notice, there's a lot of trust funds that they keep mentioning. And the thing about trust funds is you're going to need to have an attorney and set up a trust fund. But what's the operative word in trust fund? Fund. So in order to fund a trust fund, you either have to have the funds to fund the trust fund or a source of funds to fund the trust fund. And again, we're using OPM, other people's money. So the source of funding the trust fund is life insurance. Or is that not what this is saying here? Because that's pretty much what the article just said all the way through. But hey, fuck all. I've just been doing it for the past 12 years telling y'all this. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So read the article. So let's see here. It says, when foreign nationals plan to immigrate to the U.S., much of their structuring addresses the reduction of a future U.S. estate. This is largely accomplished by establishing an irrevocable trust and moving assets into the trust and out of the estate created when the foreign national obtains either U.S. citizenship or a green card. Using funds in a foreign guarantor trust to buy a U.S. life insurance policy accomplishes a number of goals. Okay? And this is another partner at a law firm. First, life insurance creates tax efficiency for the premiums used and growing inside the policy. Then, for a foreign grantor trust with U.S. beneficiaries, a policy cuts off undistributed net income, which is harshly taxed. What up, Brody? Yo, you got a stove?
Yeah.
Can you bring me one?
Gotcha.
All right. And when you come out, I'm putting you on live because I gotta broadcast my barbers, so they need to know who you are.
All right.
So that was one of my all-star barbers, Ty Sweets. You know, he's in the building, and he's definitely He taught me some ill stuff about barbers. Like he actually, I'm gonna ask him to break that down. I know that's separate, but just like I can get all up in nitty gritty into this business, there's stuff like barbers that I didn't know. Even like talking about bloodletting and stuff, and talking about cutting your hair, the significance behind the barber pole, a whole bunch of stuff that you wouldn't know. Did you know that barbers were actually almost doctors? Right? They used to patch you up. The grooming aspect of it was part of it, but they used to actually, like in the 1800s during the Civil War, they patch up the people to the point where they're not bleeding, which is why when you're in the hood, where our hair is messed up, we say, yo, I'm bleeding. Because they would patch you up to the point where you're not bleeding. They groom you a little bit to the point where you could go see that doctor. And then as long as you're not bleeding, you're going to go see the doctor. Now, how many of us have heard, yo, I'm bleeding? Barbers used to be the first doctor a long time ago. All good, she, no doubt. Listen, charge up, and you can feel free to come up. Yes, barbers used to be the first doctors. This is very true. Okay, I got too much sunlight in my eyes. I can't see over here. The doggone sun. This is the only downside to recording outside instead of like inside. But I like to be out in the neighborhood and stuff. So let me see if I can move my chair and get rid of some of this sunlight because I can't see the screen for ish. Let's see here. So it says Kaufman points out that if a foreign national chooses a private placement life insurance policy, premiums can be paid in kind to the policy without triggering U.S. taxation due to the sale of the assets to the policy. Okay. And damn, my fucking computer is bugging right now because of the sunlight. Good looking, bro. You got a light? Or you need one? I got one. All right. While you here, hold on. Before I go, everybody, holla at my man right here. This is one of the exclusive barbers.
Hello, how you doing?
All right. This is my man Ty Sweets in the building. He's one of the exclusive barbers here at the All-Star lineup. Okay. He's actually, after our master barber, this is actually the dude who put that fly part in my head. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm bleeding right now, but I'm growing it out because it's winter. Or it's getting near winter, so I do my grizzly season. But I'm about to clean up, get shaped up. Actually, next shape up, I'm gonna go live and let y'all see. Because every time I get the All-Star lineup, this is the gentleman you see doing it for me. Thank you, sir. And actually, if you want to break down, because I just broke down for them a little bit about the barber, because I was like, yo, I get deep into the insurance. But my man just broke. Could you break down the barber pole for them? All right, he about to break down the barber pole for y'all.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is just enlighten y'all on what the colors mean. So the colors that goes in circles that's lit up at nighttime or in the daytime, it's for the white, it's the bandages, the blue are for the veins, and the red is for the bloodstained bandages. So that's just a little education that I gave you guys, a little enlightenment for today. So just remember that it means for bloodletting.
Big facts. And we got my man Rush in the building, which is another one of our exclusive barbers in the building. Come here, boss. Let me put you on camera. No, not what's up, Bobby?
What's up, baby?
So, this is my man Rush. You know what I'm saying? He's another one of the exclusive barbers here at All-Star lineup. Make sure y'all, if y'all are in the Connecticut area, y'all come see us. And Rush will do a house call. He gonna make you pay a little extra.
That's what it is, man. Peace.
All right. So listen, we got the All-Star lineup. We don't have the Master Barber Blaze in the building yet, but we all over here and we're doing our thug thizzle. So I think that's something that was important. Let me get back to this article for us though, because I think it's important that y'all see that too. Let me share this screen again. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing the screen, so y'all can take a look at the article. And salute to Rael for finding this article for me. I'm gonna give credit where it's due. Rael found this article for me and he sent it over to me and he was like, bro, this is exactly what you've been talking about. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely exactly what I'm talking about, right? So let's see here. Since the client isn't a U.S. taxpayer yet, they often have more freedom with the ability to fund a PPLI policy with existing investments instead of just cash. So that's what a private placement life is. Private placement life is going to be a life policy that's with a private corporation, and generally they're going to be minimums. So you have to be spending X amount before they'll even talk to you. Generally, you're looking at it at like a $24,000 annual premium before they'll talk to you. So you're looking at dropping at least $2,000 a month before they'll even talk to you about a private placement life insurance. Okay, that's just kind of the way those are. Okay, but it says once the client becomes a U.S. taxpayer, however, an in-kind premium payment will be treated as a sale and potentially trigger taxation on any of their gains. So you don't want to be taxed on your gains, right? The large death benefit capacity of U.S. policies often fits with the pre-immigration planning due to the sizable premiums regularly paid. Okay, so again, like I said, these are going to be, you're looking at least a $24,000 annual premium before that agent will even have that conversation with you. So if you're not spending $2,000 a month, the agent's going to say, don't talk to me. Now listen, if you're spending $2 a month, come give me a conversation. I don't care if you're blind, crippled, or crazy, you represent dollar signs to me. But if you're trying to spend $2,000 a month, you rock with them. And if you're trying to spend $2,000 a month, give me a call. I'll definitely help you. Also, one more thing, quiet is kept. A client of mine, and the same client who's looking for property in Colombia, and shout out to the Manosphere, because y'all dudes, y'all will refuse to let me be normal. You might want to take your laptop out of the sun so it doesn't overheat. Yeah, that's why it's overheating. I'm deep in the sun. That's what's going on. That's why it's slowing down. Thank you, Snuggles. I realized that being in the sun overheats my stuff, but it is what it is. I don't care. Oh shit, my shit's about to die. Well, I'm about to close out because my laptop is about to die, and I forgot when you have it in the sun, it does drain faster as well, which is fine. But I want to get to, how you doing? A couple of more portions in this before I do close it down. So let's see here. It says a desirable asset class. Okay, so foreign nationals not only view U.S. life insurance as a tool to provide sizable death benefits at a low cost, but also a contingent asset class. Remember, I showed you the article that showed that banks consider life insurance as an asset. Now, Black America, we consider life insurance as just a check when we die. But again, that's the failure of Black financial professionals not teaching Black America that it's an asset. So that's our fault. That's on us for just saying, look, I'm going to come get a check. Like I said, I sat with someone who wanted a $10 million policy. His agent from Primerica was going to give him a 30-year term and call it a day. I sat down with him and showed him an indexed universal life policy that was $36,000 a month, was the monthly premium. That's some people's annual salary. Now, he didn't take the policy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd be off somewhere in an island spending my money. But, it's like those Benzes we talked about, right? An A class is definitely different from an S class. Is definitely different from a GLK. So let's see here. Providing a balance against a variety of international holdings. When analyzing permanent life insurance in a portfolio, the result is that the income tax-free death benefit can also have a stable expected return at a low risk. This makes it ideal to use as a hedge against riskier asset classes. So now we're talking about hedge funds. Damn, did you know you could use life insurance as a hedge against your investments? Nah. Because you always say, I'll think about looking at your little life insurance options. Like I said, I had a homeboy who purchased a property in Detroit, Michigan. He purchased the King Ranch Ford. So his house was maybe $200,000. The Ford was maybe $100,000. His daughter at the time was 17. He was 50 years old. 2 years passed. It was 2019 when I sat with him. I showed him a life insurance policy for $100 a month at 50 years old. He scoffed. He said, nah, my homeboy is telling me about Dogecoin. I'm gonna put $50 a week in Dogecoin. That's $200 a month. Fast forward to 2021. His daughter's 19, college age. He died. His daughter put on Facebook a $10,000 GoFundMe. His daughter now has to take over that mortgage. His daughter now is in college. His daughter now has to take over that mortgage, which he had no life insurance. So how she at 19 in college paying for that mortgage? She's not. She's going to lose the house. How's she at 19 with no job, no work experience, and no job going to pay for her college tuition? She's not. She's going to find some dude in the hood with a buy here, pay here Benz with 300,000 miles and a wave cap who got $60, who's going to pay her $60, fuck her, get her pregnant, leave her for the streets, leave her out here as a single mother. Then us productive black men are going to be on the Roger Report crying, these women for the streets. Sounding like bitches. Instead of her father doing what he needed to do as a man and protecting shit. You see the domino effect? Shout out to the Roger Report too. I'm not shitting on that because we do more than just cry. But this is what it sounds like to everybody outside. So we got to start having these types of conversations. Understood? Let's see what we got in the chat. Hold on here. She laughing it up. You already. So, as we say here, it says, this makes it ideal to use as a hedge against riskier asset classes, especially non-U.S. investments such as private equity and hedge funds that are also highly taxed and can lead to a significant amount of capital erosion. Common policy types in a portfolio analysis include whole life, universal life, indexed universal life, which is my favorite to sell and to offer because it's investment grade life insurance that's fixed, and variable universal life. Variable universal life, meaning that it's completely variable. So your life insurance premiums and your death benefit are completely tied to the stock market. Now, most of you niggas don't even know this shit exists because you don't have that conversation with me. Most of you niggas don't know that life insurance pays dividend, just like the stocks that you get a hard dick over. But you don't have that conversation. Most of your insurance agents don't even know that life insurance pays dividends because they've been trained not to know. And these are motherfuckers who are actually licensed in this shit. So again, a lot of it comes to the failure from the licensed professional. But most insurance agents have no idea that life insurance pays fucking dividends. What is a dividend? That's when a financial institution or a company recognizes profits and shares it with its shareholders. Indexed universal life is attached to the S&P 500. Kind of like Tesla was going to be thrown on the S&P 500. You know, when Tesla was at 1,600 and everybody was getting a hard dick over Tesla, even though Tesla's now at what, 700 and it's not on the S&P? Well, life insurance has been attached to the S&P 500 for over 120 years, paying dividends since before and during and through the Great Depression. Life insurance companies still paid a dividend. Since the recession, life insurance was still paying a dividend. Through the aggression, through the transgression, life insurance will still be paying a dividend. So, Jay Judas is the CEO of Life Insurance Strategies Group, LLC, and has studied the effect of using U.S. cash value life insurance to diversify investment portfolios. Golly. How many dudes in the hood I'd be like, yo, let's invest. Nah, I want handling on my own. I want to deal with investing. Okay, let me explain something to y'all hood dudes. Because this is my demographic. Like I said, I come from the hood. So I'm going to speak to those because I'm going to close this racial wealth gap. So I got to talk to the dudes in the hood and I got to educate y'all because other financial professionals fail by not educating y'all. So it's a dual failure. Part of the failure is on me for not teaching you, but part of the failure is on you for not listening. Right? So I'm going to do my part and I'm going to not fail by teaching. But it's on you to take action. Right? Because you can hear this shit all day. But if you don't take action, then you know I'm spitting till I'm blue in the face. Right? So let's make sure that we take action. But why is Alonzo this cool though? Like, do y'all see how he's masterfully speaking about finance while basically yeah, I'm trying, Toya. You know, I'm trying. But how does someone getting that knowledge of life insurance to buy that give them dividends so someone can use the dividends to continuously pay on the life insurance? Actually, Snuggles, that's a great question. So what ends up generally happening is when you purchase a life policy, uh, there will be a dividend option. The dividend option is usually going to be what's called reduced paid up. Excuse me, reduced paid up life insurance. Hold on, let me spray some Mont Blanc because I done smoked this cigarette, so now I stink. So, when they buy reduced paid up, what happens is it actually increases your life insurance. So what they do with reduced paid up is your dividend, let's say your dividend is $10. They'll take that $10 and they'll say, okay, we're going to take this $10 and purchase what's called reduced paid up life insurance. So they'll buy whatever that $10 affords you in life. And again, these are arbitrary numbers. Let's say that $10 can get you $1,000 worth of life insurance coverage. So what they will do is they will take that $10 dividend and pay it to themselves and increase your death benefit by $1,000. Now that $1,000 death benefit is always there. Even if your main policy cancels, you're still going to have that $1,000 of a death benefit because it's what's called reduced paid up. So it's paid in full. Okay. The other last couple of days, I showed you guys how to locate lost loot by finding the NAIC, National Insurance Commissioner's Lost Policy Finder. So if your granddad died in 1982 and you think he had life insurance, but nobody put the documents together, you can actually go to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, which are the people who make the rules for the insurance industry and regulate every company of insurance in the country. They will actually assist you in finding that lost policy so you can recover the death benefit. But that policy will pay you reduced paid up, and that dividend will pay your policy. The other option is to actually have a cash accumulation or the cash back option, so the dividend will actually be sent to you in the form of a check. Okay? These are a few of these. So, that's what we like to hear. What's going on, boss? How's it going, officer? All right. So let's see. It says, when wealthy foreign nationals have a need for life insurance, their advisors are recognizing that the stability of U.S. policies makes them suitable to include in a risk-return analysis comparison against other asset classes. In effect, U.S. permanent life insurance can perform double duty to provide needed future liquidity and to de-risk a portfolio of international investments. Now, here's the ill thing, because people who are American investors should be, especially if you're doing this thing called Forex, and everybody and their mama is into Forex now. Can you see how important life insurance is when you're into Forex? And most of you guys aren't doing Forex for real. You're doing it on these trading platforms that you pay $89 a month and then they teach you from the pros, when you could just pay a couple of $100, go to Kaplan Financial University, and you can actually get your Series 3 and 4, which is your commodities and futures license, which will actually allow you to sell Forex. And you won't actually have to pay these bullshit fees to things like Tradera, etc., and learn from the pros. Because the pros actually have the licenses. And unlike the Series 6 or Series 7, you don't need a sponsor. So what a sponsor is a financial institution like Goldman Sachs who says, yes, he's working for us. We'll pay the fee to get his license. We'll take on a lot of that regulatory risk. You don't even have to worry about that to actually trade Forex. But most of you guys don't even know what the fuck a Series 3 or 34 is. Again, those are those investment licenses that allow you to do futures and commodities. But, I've only been a financial advisor for the past 12 years, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, according to most niggas I talk to. Most Negro folk I talk to, I'll say. Excuse my terminology. I shouldn't use that word. It's offensive to people, black and white. I know some white folk who hate it when I use the N word too. Right? But when I speak to some of these black folks, man, this shit gets annoying. Because I'm like, y'all want these things, like Warren Buffett said, if y'all want Black Lives to Matter, get high face amount life insurance. You don't. You die with a $50,000 policy, but you make $50,000 a year. Like I said, your average millionaire, $50,000 a year times 20 is $1 million. So anybody who makes $50,000 a year, you're gonna work for 20 years. You're a millionaire. Thank you. It just doesn't seem like it because you don't see it at one point in time. Okay, but your average salary in America is 50 grand. So your average American is gonna be a millionaire because your average American is gonna work for more than 20 years, making $50,000 a year. $1 million ain't what it was, right? So let's see here. Gastelum agrees and insists an investment perspective is common for high net worth Mexicans considering U.S. life insurance. The variable life insurance contracts offered by U.S. life insurance companies often have a broad platform of investment options not found elsewhere. Increasingly, I see Mexican clients attracted to U.S. VUL policies as a safe investment through which to diversify funds earmarked for insurance protection. Damn, I keep saying investment. And this is a fucking article about life insurance. But again, Black America, y'all keep shitting on me. I'll look at your little life insurance. Well, these Mexican foreigners are sitting here saying, hi, and it says high net worth Mexicans. So these are motherfuckers in the M's. Like I said, the average American is making $50,000. The average black male American with a college degree is making $42,000. So don't you think life insurance might help a little bit? Now you ain't got to spend thousands a month. But all these cats here are talking about is, yeah, they look at the death benefit, but every sentence that I stop, all you hear them saying is investments and bolstering their portfolio. You know? Let's see. What's the name of that association? The association is the NAIC. I'll put it in here. It's the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. They are regulators over the insurance industry. Okay. Also, for those who are not in the know, any insurance producer that you'd like to look into or a financial professional, you can FINRA and use the broker check. Other door, boss. Okay, and you can actually look at. Oh yeah. You know what? Let me give you my card while I'm at it, man. So I'm not a barber there, but I'm the all-star financial advisor there, right?
Okay,
So
that's for sure.
that's my card.
I do myself, man.
Exactly, man. We gotta come. Look, you see, I'm bleeding, man. I'm gonna go in there and get patched up, but I ain't got time, man. I'm always busy.
I hear you.
All right, boss.
I'm retired, so I ain't busy.
Oh, listen, you got lots of time. You gotta come see us, man. I got two barbers waiting for you right now. I got two barbers waiting for you right now. Listen, man, you gotta get cleaned up before you go down south. Come.
I did the best I can.
I ain't mad at you.
But since it rained hard last night,
Yeah.
it should have changed down.
That they did. I was supposed to go to New York this morning. All right then. Have a good one, boss. All right. So let's see. Let me check here into the chat. We've got.
I wanted to actually say something.
Go ahead.
Peace to the chat as well. The one thing that I really appreciated about this article, that's why I had to. When I first it showed up in my Google feed, and I'm glad I clicked on it. What I love about this particular article is that it shows that you have foreign people who are viewing the U.S. as a stable enough environment financially to use American-based life insurance to get their financial house in order, to get their estate in order. I love the aspect of this as it related to estate planning. So for me, this was a great article because it just showed that if you born here, you just really have no excuses. You really need to be about planning your estate properly. And if you don't, you're going to suffer the consequences for not doing so.
I'm right here. All right, I had to move my table out of the shade, bro.
I feel you.
So, let's see. It says this is okay. I answered that. The name of the association. It says I would like you to do a one-on-one with Bernard Riley because more people need to hear this stuff. You have too much knowledge to be this young and not share. Well, thank you. She said yes, the N-word should be very offensive to black people even more than anyone else, but then when everyone else uses it, the term is an insult. See, I don't deal with that. If somebody else uses the term, I use it all the time. So, but see, I use all the terms because I use that term. I'll use any slanderous term because others will use it. So to me, I'm an equal opportunity offender. So I will offend any and everyone that I need to. But as it says here, actually, I can take the shades off now because I'm out of the sunlight. So, y'all, like, I don't think it's quite understood that, these things are available to us. And again, a lot of that is the failure of us, the financial professional, not teaching it to you. But again, you got to be able to really listen and hear it. I'm definitely down to do a one-on-one with Bernard Riley. It's a little difficult. A lot of his stuff is geared toward, the gender wars. I will definitely do one with him. I tried to get on with, there's another gentleman, Ramil Amir. I'll get on with him. I've gotten on with the Real Deal Financial. I'm trying to get on with the lead attorney. And then there's other gentlemen in other spaces that I frequent that find value in this as well. One of them is from the B1 space. And he has a online school. I'm not in any way affiliated with them, but it's B1, so I always support Xyx. That's XYAYX Institute. I'm actually going to put that in the chat too. And this is he did what Omar Johnson said he was going to do. He actually created a school for young black children. But so again, back with that reduced paid up. When you're looking at that life insurance, it's paid up for you with the dividend, and that's this question that that Snuggles was asking. So when your dividend is paid up, your dividend can either be sent to you in the form of a check, or your dividend can actually purchase more insurance. Okay, so one of the two is definitely the way that those work. Okay. And definitely check out the NIPR, the NAIC, the NIPR, as well as FINRA. You can always look up the licensure of a licensed financial professional by going to what's called FINRA Broker Check. Okay? And you'll see any exam they've taken, if they passed it, if they failed it, when it happened. A lot of people fail exams and then never go take it again, or they pass exams and then they let the license expire. Because they don't feel like dealing with certain headaches. So let's look at premium financing. Okay, so at premium financing, and this is actually something that a lot of people aren't familiar with and don't do. And I'll be honest, I'm one who I've never done a premium finance case. Most agents haven't. Just like most agents haven't delivered a death benefit, though I have. So that's why I also have the outlook that I have in this business, because when you deliver a death benefit, when you go to a funeral and everybody's looking at you like, who in the hell is this strange guy at our funeral? Nobody knows him. And then you go and you find the widow. And then people are like, who the hell is this strange guy who nobody knows who's going to the widow? And then you reach in your pocket and you give the widow a check, and she opens the check and it says $250,000, and she hugs you like she's known you for your whole life. Because not only was she mourning, but she's thinking, how am I going to pay for this mortgage? How am I going to continue to live life? How's my kids going to still continue to live life? Yes, we lost the daddy, but all this other stuff is gone. Yeah, that has an effect on you. A big time effect on you. So let's see. A popular strategy through which to purchase non-variable life insurance in the U.S. is premium financing. It's a way for qualified borrowers to use third-party financing to pay for a sizable life insurance premium with minimal initial and ongoing cash flow. A one-time or series of loans are typically obtained from a lender to pay the annual premium, utilizing the policy cash value and death benefits as collateral. So wait, I can take out a loan to pay for a big-ass life insurance policy instead of taking out a loan to pay for a mortgage that's going to be stuck on me? Because when you purchase that house that people clamor for, because everybody wants to go get that mortgage. I want to get a house. Real estate's the fastest way to generation wealth. Only if it's completely paid off and you've paid the property taxes. If neither one of those scenarios happens, life insurance is it. You guys saw me with the About That Life podcast, and I was debating Talani. Now, I was on the side of, mortgage and home ownership just because we had to have a debate. Realistically, do I believe that mortgage and home ownership is better than life insurance? No. I believe that life insurance is the easiest way to get to home ownership. But, for the sake of the debate, I did go ahead and explain that to her. In debate for term insurance is less valuable than a mortgage. Lenders will often credit the cash value between 90% or 100% for the first form of collateral. And in some situations, loans are made on a non-recourse basis, where the insured is required only to pledge personal assets to cover any cash value shortfall and is not required to provide a personal guarantee. Loan rates range from 1 month to 12 months, LIBOR plus 100 to 250 basis points. Clients can benefit from potential spread between the growth rate in cash value in the insurance policy versus the interest rate charged on the loan over the long term, while potentially reducing their out-of-pocket costs to acquire the policy, thus keeping more of their capital invested elsewhere, earning a higher return. God damn it. This is life insurance as an investment. Like I said, life insurance as alternative concepts is what I specialize in. Okay? And so, as we go, we're going to continue. This link doesn't work. What link is that for the Zions Institute? Okay. I'll definitely get another link for that, because that's going to be needed too. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to hop off of this. Ra, you got any parting words? Because my laptop's about to die.
I just think this is a great article. It's just an article that shows the diversity of the U.S. Financial market, and how that people in our group need to really start taking their estate planning very seriously, because you have foreign people from different countries that are taking advantage of the financial infrastructure in the United States, and using it to their best advantage to properly plan for their estate, even though they're foreign nationals. So there's really no excuse for people in our group to keep using excuses in terms of the white man and the system is corrupt, when everybody has an opportunity to use life insurance for life events, and to put themselves in a supreme position in terms of wealth creation and properly planning for their estate. No excuses.
Quick question here. She says, what about reparations and racism? Doesn't that affect anything? And the fact that immigrants can do it should show you that they're being favoritism towards certain people. Well, yes, I understand about reparations and racism. Reparations ain't gonna happen, so we got to use things like this to get our own reparations. Racism exists even in the insurance industry till this day. 2021 here in Georgia, there was a case thrown out about discrimination in life insurance. So yeah, that's still there. But if we do things and step in the proper position, then we can actually avoid that. Example, there's actually black-owned life insurance companies. Stop being these fucking label whores. What company do you work for? I don't work for a company. I'm a broker. Well, what does that mean, Mr. or Mr. Customer? That means I work for the best interest of you. Stop worrying about the name of the company because you've heard of the company. You've heard of Merrill Lynch. Guess what? Merrill Lynch just had, and I did the article of it, one of their advisors stole $10 million from their people. Bernie Madoff. He was rich. Everybody knew who the fuck he was, and he stole $50 billion from people. So it's not always about knowing the name of the company. I'll give you one. PIMCO is a company you've never heard of. It also happens to be the largest mutual fund on the planet. PIMCO. I'll put that in the chat. PIMCO happens to be the largest company you've never heard of. Now, in terms of the racism, we can avoid that. So there's black-owned life insurance companies. There's North Carolina Mutual.
Hold on, Lonzo. Before you even go to that topic, this is the natural reflex of black people. When you offer them a solution, they give you another problem to deal with. This particular statement has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. That is two different conversations. But even if they try to use that as an excuse, they still can use it. Because Alonzo Herndon, a black man who had an insurance company that he bought for $140, who was born on a plantation, so he was born into slavery. He came out of slavery, and that is about as racist as you can get. And he ultimately died with $1 million company. So even when black people try to divert the conversation to some racism, because let's just keep it above. When black people complain about racism, they're not complaining about any racism in terms of white water fountains and you can't go to Macy's and try on the clothes or anything like that. They want a hug and want some white people to tell them that they love them. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's not racism. White people don't have to like you. It's not their job to like you. It's not their job to love you. And historically, you need to accept the fact that they kicked your ass. Get off of that shit. They kicked your ass on the battlefield, and because they won, they got to set up things that were beneficial to them. Now, great. Thankfully for you, you live in a system that's open enough and a society that's free enough that at the end of the day, because there are people who live in societies that look like each other, where they got presidents that look like them, go to Africa, and they is corrupt as hell, and they don't have this type of access. So you better stop complaining about racism, and you better start becoming financially literate and stop taking the conversations to something that you ain't gonna never change because you can't unkick your ass. You got your ass kicked, get over it, and start properly planning for your stuff, because quite frankly, most white people are more financially illiterate than you.
Oh yeah. I can attest to that. They're just more financially liquid and have access to the capital. But as far as literacy, woo, trust you told no lies there. But so in terms of black-owned companies, and then I'm gonna hop off. You have North Carolina Mutual. Now, North Carolina Mutual is in rehab because they're going bankrupt. So they're in the process of being purchased, hopefully, because not enough black people want to support them. You have Atlanta Life Insurance that Rael just mentioned, which was started by, ironically enough, the business partner of Alonzo Herndon at both of their barbershop. Hint, hint. Barbershop, insurance, and real estate. Oh, I happen to have my insurance license and my real estate license, and my cousin is a barber. God damn. We trying to repeat history. But so you have that. You have Atlanta Life Insurance, and then you also have one last one, which was purchased by Mr. Crenshaw himself, Magic Johnson. Okay, in 2017, to the tune of $13 billion, Magic Johnson Holdings became the majority shareholder in a financial services company called Equitrust Financial. Seeing as Magic Johnson is black and he's the majority shareholder, that makes the company a black-owned company. So, you're talking about reparations, which won't be happening, but we don't need it if we do things like set ourselves up properly. Let's talk about a black-owned money management firm that's 37 years old. Ariel Investments. Okay? Do you know that Ariel Investments works closely with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase? Part of that $10 billion initiative that got sent to black women was due to Ariel Investments, which again is a black-owned financial services firm, a money management firm. But y'all black folks don't even support Ariel Investments. But yet, you run around and cry and say you want Black Lives to matter. But yet, a black-owned firm came and gave you a solution. And your black ass is like, but what about reparations and racism? Not you specifically, Snuggles. But this is the type of shit we hear. So if you're going to go, well, what about reparations and racism? And not go support the black-owned financial services company, you look like a fucking moron. So, are we going to cry about reparations and racism? Are we going to do something about it? Again, I'm a financial advisor, been one for over a decade. But when I talk to y'all black folks, you shit on me. And then you say Black Lives Matter. And then I turn around and I say, well, Warren Buffett said if more black men bought high face amount life insurance policies, owners of these multi-billion-dollar companies would step in and say, hey, policemen, stop killing black men. Because I'm not going to donate to the policeman's ball anymore because you're making these niggas rich. Or for my dime. If you want to, if they're racist, they wouldn't want to be making these niggas rich. Excuse my language, you know. But to be honest, they don't give a fuck. They care about money. That's what it's about. We're in a system where race doesn't matter anymore. It's about class. Right? You have the haves and have-nots. That's why I was a Trump supporter. Because he made shit good for my field. That's why I was a Romney supporter. Because he was going to privatize Social Security. What does Social Security privatize mean to me as a financial advisor? That means I'm going to have to see everybody and sell them their retirement account. So I was very happy about that. What am I happy about now? I'm happy that Joe Biden is taxing the shit out of your capital gains and your retirement. Why am I happy about that? Because that means you're going to come see me so that you don't pay all those taxes. And I'm going to help you put your money in a tax shelter. And see, I've never heard of Ariel Investments. As I said, we need more people like you to disseminate this information to the masses because I've never heard of any of this information you're exposing. Well, thank you. Like I said, Snuggles, so part of the racial wealth gap is, yes, it's your part for not listening, but it's also my part. And I don't mean specifically just me, but black financial advisors. How the fuck do we expect you to know this shit unless we teach it to you? Right?
Well,
You can't know it unless I teach it to you.
Can I speak on something?
Right?
Okay, so first of all, the comment made about disseminating the information. First of all, that's one of the most highly disingenuous statements that's out here. There are black men who are professionals, who are in business, in the manosphere, that constantly talk about business. Dissemination of information is not the problem. It's you Negroes don't act upon the information. It's application. But going back to the National Negro Business League, started by the great Booker T. Washington, may he rest in peace. He started the National Negro Business League, which Theodore Roosevelt used as the template to start the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. He took his idea and expanded it. His organization was about facilitating the working of black businesses with each other. This is from
Yes.
This dude was an ex-slave who fought to get out of slavery, built the school, and had connects with the likes of Carnegie and people like that. So so if he could do that when it used to be illegal for black people to read books and still have the wherewithal to create a freaking school, there is absolutely no excuse in an information age where you literally have a man on here who is not just giving you the information, he's giving you associations in which you can go on there and check his credentials to see if what he's saying is on point. So you can't even use the excuse, well, I don't know you like that. Because we know y'all will trust him. If a white person vouch for somebody, y'all cool with it. Because see, we over here vouching for him as black men, that ain't good enough for y'all. That ain't good enough for y'all. We have black men in the space that is doing business with Alonzo because we trust him. And that is the height of brotherhood, to put your money with somebody you met on the internet. That's a hell of a level of trust there. So this mentality of putting the information out there, no, you're going to have to act upon the information. You're going to have to apply the information to your life. It's not about just talking about it. When I went to this church service some years ago, the pastor said, this was a black pastor talking to a predominantly black congregation. And he told the story about how he had got shamed into not talking about money in the church. And the reason why he was shamed into not talking about money was because when he was finally able to afford his dream car, which was a Bentley, that was his car. He said, anybody knows me, they know I love cars. When he was able to get his dream car, there were black people in the church that was criticizing him and shaming him. He said, but none of these people understood that I help people get cars. He said, I help people put down payment on cars. He said, I've helped people get their cars fixed. He said, so when it was my time to get mine, I got it. He said, and there were people who was talking bad about me in the church. There was people who actually left the church because I got what I had worked for. And he said, for a long time, it made me not want to talk about money in the church. And so he said, finally, he just said, I got tired of that. He said, because he said, do y'all see this church house? It costs money to pay for this. It costs money to pay this air conditioner while y'all sit up in here and sit in comfort and hear this word. It costs money to have these lights on up in here. So you got black people out here that aren't talking about money. Yeah, I've seen black females with finance channels talking about get your credit on point. Y'all don't want to do it. Let's keep it a buck. You don't want to do it because what you fear the most is not white racism, because this ain't white race. This ain't racism here. This ain't dogs being put on you and water hoses on you and stuff like that. That's racism. What you really don't want to have to do is be forced to work amongst yourselves and do your own work. You don't want to, you fear working more with your own blood relatives because y'all hate each other guts for probably the silliest crap that don't mean anything. So you don't want to have to really face that particular challenge. Because if you go to your family, your blood relatives, and you try to work with them and make some money and they reject you, then that's letting you know that's not your family. They're related to you by blood, but that's not your family. Your family is people that help you help you get in a position so you can be the best version of yourself. That's what family's supposed to do. Not just because y'all related by blood, because you don't have any control over that. And this is why I always say you don't control. You have no choice in the kind of family you're born into, but you do have a choice in the kind of family you want to be a part of. And that's what y'all gonna have to really understand out here, because there are people in your family who cool with being broke. They cool with living paycheck to paycheck, and that's their lifestyle, and that's cool. But if you want to change the trajectory of your bloodline, even if it's starting with you moving forward and your children, then you're gonna have to think differently, because the integration strategy did not work like that. It did not work like that in terms of black people's wealth and wealth capacity, because black people took their most talented people and put it in white people's businesses and made them money instead of their own communities. So y'all gonna have to get off of it. You're gonna have to do the work, we come in with a whole different paradigm because we know that a lot of that baby boomer stuff didn't work for us. Integration did not work for us the way they thought it was supposed to work, especially for black men, because black men were the least likely to benefit from civil rights. Everybody else benefited from it except black men. So y'all gonna have to stop making these excuses, because the beauty about wealth creation in terms of the kind of country that we live in is that you can be broke, but all you got to do is take advantage of these tools, and in one generation you can build wealth. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly, man. You know, and so, like you said, Ron, I guess you're absolutely factual. It's not just the dissemination of the information; it's the taking of action with the information. Now, I will say a beautiful thing in terms of the taking of action, at least in this space. Good looking, brother. At least in this space, what I found is you gentlemen are listening, right? What's going on, brother? How are you? Sorry, I got right now. I just got this one.
You think it's short?
Yeah, you want to stay right there for a few minutes? I'll take you short. So,
I'll sit over here.
yeah, have a seat, brother. So, what we're looking at, yeah, definitely get up some cash and we'll get you cut up in here too, boss.
I need a full head.
You need a full haircut? We can definitely do. Yeah, we do the hair, we do the beard, we'll wash it. We'll wash it and everything for you. Everything.
My clip is broken, so I grow a beard.
That's all right. We'll grow it. We'll cut it all off.
I go for $20. Can you help me out?
Minimum is $50, boss. Yeah. Minimum is $50. But you know, definitely. There you go.
That's hard to kill.
Man, listen, we provide a wonderful service here at this location, so
I know.
you know. Have a good one, though, boss. So, yeah, I was just doing a little business here. A gentleman was asking about the haircuts. So yeah, we start our cuts at 50. Some of the newer barbers doing that in a little discount, but you're gonna get the full experience here with that full haircut. So, such is life. But as I was saying, man, when you're looking at, you know, the dissemination of that information, it's not always received well. And I think that needs to be a strategy. We do have to learn how to put it into action. Like you said, we don't put it into action. And I look at my brother-in-law who had the disability. Yeah, once he's down, effed up and needs a check, he wants to come see me. But before then, he had shit set, right? Or my other brother-in-law, before when we sat down talking about life insurance, yeah, he wasn't really on it. Then he got shot. Now he's on the hospital bed like, damn, what am I gonna leave to my wife and my son? Oh man. The day my brother-in-law got shot in the Bronx, 13 people got shot. He was one of the 13 people who got shot in New York City that day. Of the 13 people who got shot only in New York City that day, one survived. The other 12 died. The one who survived, who got shot that day, was my brother-in-law. Now imagine he didn't survive. It'd be a whole nother conversation. That girl wouldn't have been his wife. And this was 2 weeks before his wedding. 2 weeks. Well, 1 month. And then, 2 weeks before he had to fly out, but he had just gotten out of the hospital. So a month before he's about to make this woman his wife, his baby's mother his wife, and complete the circle, he got shot 4 times. And he wasn't kicking up dust or doing anything crazy. You know what he had done? He had gotten off of work in the Bronx as a delivery driver because he worked for a parts company that does truck parts. He was delivering truck parts, got off work, clocked out of work, went outside, went to his car, saw a female friend of his, and was talking with her for a few minutes. So he was outside of his job when he got shot. But beforehand, he was really like, yeah, I don't need this life insurance. But bleeding on that hospital bed, he was like, damn, I should have got that life insurance. Anyway, folks, I've been going for almost 2 hours and my laptop is about to die, so I got to get off of this. So remember, wipe ass, work in progress every day. see success, wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success, wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. And remember, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute. Actually, let's get my track playing again. Actually, no. You know what? Let's play out some ill shit. We're gonna do this. We're gonna play out. You know what? Let's do this. Let's play. It's all about the Benjamins before we leave. So once again, oh yeah, if you like it, if you enjoy my content, hit the like, drop a comment, subscribe, wipe ass. When people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Leave.
Shot callers, callers, we'll be living in the bed with the spoilers. On the low from the Jake and the toys, trying to get my hands on some grass like Horace. Yeah, living the raw deal, 3-course meal, spaghetti, fettuccine, and bill, but still, everything's real in the deal.
And what you can't have now, leave in your will. Hold on, wait. Slide on back. Again, a rap song from the 90s. Puff Daddy. All about the Benjamins, baby. What did he say now? And what you can't have now, leave in your will. So, let's run that back one quick time.
In the bands with the spoilers,
On the low from the Jake and the tourist.
trying to get my hands on some grass
Like
like
Horace.
yeah, living the raw
Deal.
deal, 3-course
Meal, spaghetti, fettuccine, and bill. But still, everything's real in the field. And what you can't have now, leave in your will. But don't knock me for trying to bury 7 zeros over Rio de Janeiro. Ain't nobody zero, but I want to be heard.
on your hot 97 every day, that's my word.
Swimming in women with their own condominiums.
5 plus 5s,
Who drop millenniums?
it's all about the Benjamins.
What? And I got the 50-pound bag of
For the mutts, 5 carrots on my hands with the cuts. Something I want to hold out with the clutch.
Salute.
Bring it more